All right. Good morning.
Good morning, Kingsley.
How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
Oh, I'm fine. Fine, thank you. Good to see you.
Good.
After, I think this should be 2 weeks to not be
Yes,
here.
so
I
that's
think
true.
activities here and there.
Yeah.
But thank God we are here again today and to discuss, some salient issues as it relates to children and their rights. We are back again with, we will not get tired of this right thing until we get it right.
Not at all. Not at all. We can't afford
Yes,
to.
yes, we won't
can't.
get tired. We
Yeah.
can't get tired.
Yeah.
So we are here again to talk about, still the rights of our children. It's important for us to keep, this in the public domain so that parents will stick to them, work with them, and every child too should know that they have rights.
Yes.
So I think we have over the past week now mentioned 20 of these rights.
Yes.
So we will start from where we stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah. So today again we'll be doling out another 10 rights.
Okay.
So Shade, you will still give us those points again as usual.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So continuing from where we left off last time under the UN Convention. Another salient point to remember is that when children are adopted, the first concern must be what is best for them. Whether they are adopted in the country of their birth or whether they are taken to live in another country. So adopting a child means that the overall importance is the welfare of the child.
Yeah.
You can't say you're going to adopt a child just for the sake of it, because you're adopting a human being. So you're adopting the child with the full package, and that means that you have to look out for their well-being.
Yeah, very correct.
It's right for them.
Yeah.
Okay. The next point is that children who come into a country as refugees, for instance, let's say refugees from Niger, let's say refugees from Chad, our neighbors, where there have been social unrest, should have the same rights. The UN Convention states clearly that refugees should have the same rights as children who are born in that country.
Yeah.
Who are born in Nigeria. Let's say they're coming to Nigeria, they should have the same rights as children born in Nigeria. That's what the UN Convention states.
Yeah. And the reason why it's important is because a child in Nigeria is also a child in the UK.
Yes.
Yes. A child in Ghana is also in Nigeria. A child from Ghana in Nigeria is also a child. So wherever they find themselves, every right, that a child is entitled to should be given to any child, regardless of their state of origin. And it's important because whether a child they are all human beings, regardless of their state of origin. That's the point there.
That's true. But we're talking about refugees now.
Yes.
If they come as refugees, and then don't forget that the adoption process is different from country to country.
Very true.
That the United Kingdom does not necessarily recognize our own adoption
processes. Yeah, very true. Very true.
So if you're adopting a child who is a refugee, the child comes into the UK, into Nigeria, and then you adopt that child and want to take the child to the UK, you have to go through another set of process. But we'll talk to that when we get there. When we come there. Then children who have any kind of disability should receive special care and support so that they can live a full and independent life. Okay? Children have the rights to good quality health care, clean water, nutritious food, and a clean environment.
Yes.
So that they will stay healthy. And richer countries, the convention suggests that in these cases, richer countries should help poorer countries to achieve this. Developing countries.
Yes. So I think it's also important, for our parents to know that when our children are making certain demands along this line, they shouldn't spank them for making such demands. Rather, they should, if it's not there, find a way to make them understand that it's not them, not by smacking, not by saying, it's their right.
Yeah.
It's their right.
Yes. Also, children who are looked after by their local authority rather than their parents should be reviewed regularly. What do we mean by that? Let's say they're looked after in an orphanage, they're looked after, they're ward of the court, maybe they're in camps, or like, we have NAPTIP in Nigeria.
Yes.
They're still under the refugee status, or maybe their parents were deported, whatever status they are under, they should, if they are the way they are looked after should be reviewed regularly. I think I'm making a point.
Yes, I'm making a point, yes. And the reason for that review is because at every point in time the child develops.
Yes.
Number one.
Yeah.
And number two, while that review is important, it's so that if the place the child is no longer in the best interest of the child, that something else needs to be done quickly before it starts affecting the child's development and all that.
Yes.
So that's why the review is important. And also, if the person under whose care the child is no longer fit to manage the child, then something needed to be done.
Yes.
Yes.
Or if the person is deceased.
Disease
or
also. Yes. So that review is important. That intermediate review is important. Yes, to check and to checkmate what's going on with the child. Is the child doing well? Is the child performing well? Is the child growing well? And these are actually things we need to be checking into. Yes, that's the whole essence of that.
Yeah. The government should provide extra money for the children of families in need. We attended a conference recently about
that's organized by ASON, right?
Yes, organized by the national.
Yes, ASON,
And two issues were addressed: fostering with families and alternative care. So I think this point comes under this one, that the government should provide extra money for the children of families in need. Should come under this alternative care. Whereas, which means that the child is not in an orphanage or a home. The child is not outside with strangers, but in the family, and the government is sending them subsidized food or money, stipends,
relief materials and all that
for the child.
Yes, and Shadia, why the government need to do this? Although it's unfortunate that it's not really the case in you understand. But the reason why it's important is this. Over time we have always discouraged the fact that taking children from their parents, or parents still keep taking their children away from them on the grounds that things are not okay with them. It's never even the United Nations even said that poverty is not a reason for why
separate families.
Yes, poverty is never a reason for why a child should be separated from his or biological parents. So you see, now if the government will come in to support families, you understand, that there won't be need to keep their children away from them, or take them to where they will help them, in quotes, help them to take care of their children, thereby losing that parental care, parental bonding, which will at the long run affect the child. You see, so if that must be encouraged, the government, has that role to support. Yes, it's important. It's important. I've seen a case where you see parents coming to orphanages, please, I want you to help me keep my child, keep my children.
We have that experience.
Oh my goodness. It's not the best for the child. It's not. I was telling that, two young men who came sometimes, last week, they have a boy, a boy and a girl. They are young, energetic. They say, what's stopping you to go and also to take care of the children, to take care of your child? What stops you? You are young. You are young. So I think that should be discouraged. And the government has a role to play in ensuring that it's actually upheld.
We had a case like that here as well, where a mother had come, she said her husband was late, and she wanted us to take care of the children. Of course, at Fortitude, at Fortitude Home, we do from day old to 5 years 18. We don't take older children, we prefer the children to grow with us. But having said that, she brought these two children. One was 13 or 11 or so, a teenager already. And so that was a difficult situation. And I just said, you have to go to social development, Ministry of Women's Affairs. Yeah.
You see, but in that case, that is why we are trying to come up with a program, where such, a parent comes with such a kind of, request. You understand? And you notice that, okay, truly things are not okay with the family.
Yeah.
Then the next thing to do is to give the family support to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
Then instead of asking her to go away or go to the office and all that, some will leave frustrated, and then at the end they will just go and dump the children somewhere.
What type of support would you recommend?
Okay, empowerment, you see, like for SOS,
Yes.
they do that a lot of times,
Okay.
They empower families, buy them branding machines and all that, and they go to check in on their homes. Any family they empower, they check them to see how they are coping, how they have actually improved over the time. So they empower them, with machine. They empower them with funds to start, petty businesses to help the families.
Yes.
So, even as individuals, we can do that. A couple of times I've done that, even, but not to the extent to which they should be able to, relax and say, okay, this is okay for me. But at least to an extent.
Okay.
So, but we need to have that program in place. We are coming there, we will do all that.
Okay. Because we homes too, orphanages, we were looking for support.
I know.
So, I just
Sure.
thought I'd put that one there.
Okay.
So children have the right to a standard of living that is good enough to meet their physical and mental needs. Okay. The government should also help families to afford this. Same thing with
Yeah.
Children have the right to an education. People in schools should respect children's human dignity. Primary education should be free for this type of children. The convention keeps on going back to the fact that wealthier nations should help poorer nations.
Yes. It's happening. They've been doing that.
Okay.
When Donald Trump came in, that was one major thing he said he wanted to withdraw. Although that's for HIV/AIDS patients and all that, we understand.
Yeah.
But I know very well also that they've been giving AIDS to Nigeria seriously. You understand? Even in the northern region where we have unrest and all that.
Yes.
You see, they've come in so many times to to give certain
Donor bodies.
Yeah, donor bodies. Yes.
Education should develop each child's personality and talents to the fullest. It should encourage children to respect their parents, their cultures, and other cultures.
That's education, right?
Yes.
What you do in the life of
Yes.
your child. Yeah.
And then lastly, children have the right to learn and use the language and wisdom of their families, whether or not these are shared by the majority of people in the country where they live, as long as this does not affect others. Let me say that again. Children have the right to learn and use the language and customs of their families, whether or not these are shared by the majority of people in the country where they live. So, for instance, a family, they find themselves in another country.
Yeah.
So the child has the right to still learn the language of her people.
Yeah.
You understand?
Very true.
Still learn the language and customs of her people within that new country.
Yes. The child should not be forced to stop learning or speaking her own dialect.
Yeah. So these are the rights under the convention.
Yeah.
There's more, but for this week we're
taking another 10.
Yes, we're taking another 10.
All right, thank you very much, Shade, for doing justice to that. And I think we hope that parents will, key into these laws and then see how, Trina helps to develop properly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.